gracious. Someone having difficulty breathing on the 83rd floor. Okay, ma'am, how you doing?
Are they going to be able to get somebody up here?
Well, of course, ma'am. We're coming up for you.
Well, there's no one here yet, and the floor is completely engulfed. We're on the floor, and we can't breathe.
The firemen, the police officers, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of them.
Another explosion. We're standing.
Before the towers fell, before the heroes ran in, there were voices on the line. Sometimes those voices are forgotten. Dispatchers who stayed on the line until the last second of somebody's life. Listening, knowing, doing everything they could, even though they couldn't. Hello everybody, I'm Drew. I started my career as a 911 dispatcher, and I ended it by commanding the very center I began in after a lengthy law enforcement career. With me behind this channel, the Comm Center, is John. He's a current 911 dispatcher, a 911 professional. Every day he puts on the headset. He answers the next emergency call. He knows full well that one of them might change somebody's life, it might change his life, or it might be the last words somebody utters. He sacrifices time, sleep, and mental peace, just like thousands of dispatchers do across the country. This channel was built on one belief, and that's every good true crime story starts with a 911 call. But too often, the people who take those calls are forgotten. Through storytelling and lived experience, our mission is to shine a light on the unheard heroes of emergency response. Today, we talk about the call that didn't go viral and the ones that tore dispatchers apart from the inside. This is a story about unheard first responders, the ones with no gear and no sirens, just a headset, a voice, and a prayer.
September 11th, I was working as a training instructor at the time. I took my students to the operational floor to take 911 calls, and I worked as a citywide dispatcher.
Halfway through the morning when the first plane hit, one of the platoon commanders came and picked some of us out single-handedly who she thought would be able to handle what was going on. I was a citywide dispatcher back then. We do special operations, so I was called to man a zone in citywide.
So what happens when you're the only person somebody can reach and you can't do anything to save them? At 8:46 a.m., the first planes hit, and minutes later, phones across New York lit up. The 911 system went from routine calls to chaos. It overwhelmed the system and it shut most of it down. Those systems crashed. The protocols that they had in place, they all failed. Off-duty operators were called in, as were a bunch of first responders. And some were told to move through calls as fast as possible. But how do you hang up on somebody that's screaming for their life? What's the best way to do that?
On the morning of September 11th, that was my day off. I heard what was going on through the news. I felt helpless. I felt helpless for the city, but I still went in because that's my job, to help save lives.
Call officer that came over the air, I heard the tower is falling. That's what I remember for that day.
They had to figure it out in real time. So part of the tragedy was structural, like infrastructure. For instance, the Emergency Operations Center, it's the very place meant to coordinate a mass casualty response like 9/11 was. Well, it was located on the 23rd floor of World Trade Center Tower 7. It collapsed later that day. The main emergency communication antenna, it was on the roof of the North Tower. So when it fell, it just severed critical links of communication between a bunch of agencies. So police, fire, EMS, Port Authority, Transportation Authority, they're all operating in silos and in the dark. NYPD's aviation unit were probably pretty quick to discover that rooftop rescues were not going to be possible, but they weren't able to get that information to anybody. So the result is misinformation was passed to victims. Rescuers were just sent like unknown, unseen, into unknown danger. And the dispatch system left people flying blind in the middle of the worst catastrophe our nation had faced.
When someone dials 911, the operator, you get yourself prepared because you don't know what's on the other end of that line. You have to be ready. You have to Get your sympathy hat on, your empathy hat on, and be prepared for whatever that person may say to you. Once the calls came into our 911 system, I mean, just all hell broke loose.
Police operator 1007, how can I help you?
Hi, I'm on the 103rd floor. I called before. They said they were going to send firemen up. People are getting crazy. They're starting to break windows.
It made me feel helpless because there's nothing we could do. The city was under attack. You don't know what to tell people. You couldn't even say help is on the way because it wasn't.
You're on the 103rd floor.
Any news on where they are?
I can't tell you. I don't know exactly right now, ma'am.
People are getting crazy.
Okay, is anyone hurt on that floor?
No, not yet. What's going to happen? They're going to start breaking windows. We can't breathe.
All right, ma'am. Well,
We can't breathe.
I understand.
If we get to the stairway, should we go up or down?
I don't know, ma'am. I really don't know. Just stay where you at.
They gave instructions that they knew might be lies, but they didn't have the truth. Melissa Doy was a 32-year-old business development manager for IQ Financial Systems. On the morning of September 11th, she was at work on the 83rd floor of the South Tower. At 9:17 in the morning, she called 911. She was very calm at first, then she progressed to panic, and then at some point she resigned. It was total surrender.
Everybody's having trouble breathing?
Everybody's having trouble breathing. Some people are worse.
Some people unconscious. Everybody's awake.
So far, yes, but it's
Listen. Everybody's awake.
yes, so far.
Conscious, and it's very hot there, but no fire, right?
I can't see.
No,
It's too high.
very hot. No fire for now, and no smoke, right? No smoke, right?
Of course there's smoke.
Ma'am, you have to stay calm.
There is smoke. I can't breathe.
Okay, you stay calm with me, okay? I understand
I
you.
think there is fire because it's very hot.
Okay,
It's very hot everywhere on the floor.
okay. I know you don't see it, and I know, but I'm going to document. I'm documenting what you see, okay? And it's very hot. We see no fire, but you see smoke, right?
It's very hot. I don't see any air anymore.
Okay.
All I see is smoke.
Okay, dear. I'm so sorry. Hold on one. Stay calm with me. Stay calm. Now,
Please.
listen. The call is in. I'm documenting. I'm going
I'm going to die, aren't I?
No. Say your
I'm going to die.
Ma'am, say your prayers. And we're gonna think positive because you gotta help each other get off the floor.
I'm
Now,
going to die. I know I'm going to
no,
die.
stay calm.
Please, God.
You're doing a good job, ma'am. You're doing a good job. You're doing
It's so hot. I'm burning up.
Okay, if you don't, the floors is hot and everything is hot. They're all their destinies. When you go up high, you get too close away from the smoke. Okay, I know you know. Hold on a second. 83rd floor, 3 people trapped. It's very hot on the 83rd floor. 3 people trapped, having trouble breathing. It's very hot.
Wait, we hear voices. Hello! Help!
Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm just letting you know. Okay. Hello, ma'am?
Help!
Stay calm. Ma'am?
Help!
Stay calm. Just don't move.
Oh, my God.
They coming through with you now?
Find out if there's anybody here on the 83rd floor.
Don't worry. You stay on the phone with me, and I already
Can you
know.
find out if there's anyone on the 83rd floor? Because
Ma'am, I already
heard
listen.
somebody.
Excuse me. I already notified this lieutenant. Okay. 80. I notified the city. 80? Yes, Lieutenant 80. I already notified the lieutenant that there's 5 people on the first floor, right? Very hot and smoky, so they won't overlook you. Okay, dear?
Can you?
I already did that,
Stay on the
ma'am.
line with me, please.
Yes, ma'am. I am
I
going to
feel
stay
like
with
I'm
you.
dying.
Listen. Take you.
They're here?
Are they inside with you yet, dear?
No.
Okay, stay calm till they get inside.
Find out where they are.
Ma'am, stay calm till they get inside. Ma'am, stay calm. Ma'am, do they have, ma'am? I'll write it down, 1 second. What's her name? Hold on 1 second, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
So what else could she say? She was alone with Melissa. She was the only one on the phone that Melissa could talk to, and Melissa was going to use her as a conduit to get information out to her family. She knew that was the end. So people talk about trauma like it only happens on the scene, but trauma doesn't care about location. It comes through the headset just the same.
It feels to me like it's a boulder on your shoulders. And every time this time of the year comes, the boulder gets heavier because you will never forget that day.
Still knowing that people were missing. I lost 2 family members. I lost childhood friends. One of my aunts survived it. It's very stressful. Every day is not a good day as you know that 9/11 is approaching because it still comes back fresh in your mind. And it's like a feeling it's a gut feeling you will never get over.
He is an emergency service for Brooklyn. Was in conversation with Truck 6 for a while. He was trapped somewhere and he had this, what I remember was he had a female that he was trying to help down some steps. I remember talking to him. I remember Taru coming over and giving me his location, telling me that he was trapped or lost and, get me some help to get out of here. So those things were difficult because we can't see, right? We can only go by what they're telling us.
That's the weight of the invisible wounds that 911 professionals carry. That's very common in the profession, even to this day. It's very hard to keep people.
I'm still working, not wondering about my own family. My sister had a son. He had to be 1st or 2nd grade. So these are all the things that's going through my mind. Oh God, if something happens to my sister, what about my nephew, So that was difficult to do, but, thank God she was fine. And when she was fine, I just had to continue with my day. I kept dispatching. Like I said, we dispatched till 1:30 in the morning.
The days and the weeks following September 11th were worse than the actual day because then we started getting the reports of how many perished in the fire in the towers falling, how many people were still missing, how many family members that I worked with, on a daily basis that they couldn't find their loved ones. So the days following 9/11 was worse than the actual day.
So what if the people who hear the screams suffered just as much as those who survived them?
We are the lifeline of New York City. Without us, you will not get any help.
While we honor the heroes who ran into the towers, those who died in the tragedy, and those who survive, the first responders are honored, but the voices behind the line, sometimes they're forgotten.
We work really, really hard here. In New York City Dispatches, we are the best in the world. We work really, really hard. We are appreciative of this day that, you guys are talking to us and allowing us to get things out. But we work really, really hard. It's a hard job.
This story isn't to compete with any survivor or victim's memory or any first responder. It's just told to complete the story. Dispatchers aren't just call takers. They're audible witnesses, and sometimes they're the last voice someone ever hears, and it's the only voice of comfort a dying person gets. On September 11th, those voices carried the weight of a nation's panic, and they did it with courage, compassion, and composure, even as the system collapsed around them, figuratively and literally.